Welcome to the show.
This guy got a mistletoe belt on.
Gosh, that is bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days.
It's a joke, you idiot. Looked in the mirror, I'm like,
Good old innocent fun. Welcome back, everybody, to Troublemakers, the podcast where each week we bring on a guest and they tell crazy stories about their lives. I'm your host, Dylan Krasinski, with you as always on a beautiful day in March in Brooklyn. We're having a good time. The candles are not lit, but we're ready to have some fun. With me, as always, is my indispensable co-host, the big dog, the man in charge. Put your hands together for Zawodni, everybody.
Oh, thank you so much, Dylan. We are back, Troublemakers, here every single Wednesday for you. You can watch full live episodes on our YouTube channel. Also, clips galore on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And if you're just a listener, you're somebody that just likes the sound of us in your headphones or through your car stereo, why don't you give that subscribe button on Spotify, rate, review us on Apple Pods, wherever you do that kind of stuff. We want a 5-star review.
5 stars, please.
For the Troublemakers, nothing less than the best.
Also, leave a goddamn... If you still listen... I don't know who the hell is listening on Apple Pods, but if you still listen on Apple Podcasts, just leave a comment.
Leave a review, you fucking lazy piece of shit.
Because I'll tell you this. If you're listening and you're enjoying it, even if you don't listen on Apple Pods, go leave us a comment, because our top 2 comments, the ones that show are the last 2 comments that were left, and they're both negative comments.
Oh, get that off there.
So we need some people to leave some fucking comments, okay? So go do that. Do us a favor.
What are the comments?
It's when my former co-host quit the show and he left, and someone commented, gave us 5 stars, and goes, since Mike left, I will no longer be listening. Dylan sucks, and he's got a stupid laugh. And I was like, you know what, that's mean. And then he still gave us 5 stars, so that was nice.
That's nice.
Well, thank you.
And I think his name on the review is like Brockton Boy, and I was like, yeah, typical Boston, typical Boston. But hey, you ready to get into it?
Absolutely. We got a very special guest on the show
Very
today.
special guest. Happy to have him
Comedian
here.
Jake Velazquez. Jake, thanks for coming by.
The sound, I mean, this is a high-tech production right here.
Well,
Only
I'm
the
over
best,
moon.
baby.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
We are in the
Thanks for
future
doing
here. Where
It's crazy. The clap, I never knew. What's the clap for?
that's
The clap.
the clap is so that you can sync the audio with the video. It's an old
Genius.
movie trick.
Genius.
Yeah.
It's why they do the snap on the boards.
Yep.
The slate.
That. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what?
The slate.
I've wanted to ask that for over a year now.
The clap?
Yeah. I was on a podcast a while ago. Someone did it, and I was too scared to ask. But I'm comfortable with you guys.
I like that.
You thought it was more like a ready break. You're like, all right, you guys ready? Yeah, break.
Those just to like pump us up. Like,
Yeah.
because he did it really like enthusiastically. But this was a very subdued clap. So I was like, all right, let me ask. Maybe
Dude. Yeah, I tried my hardest with the clap, and now here we are. Dude.
He was all pissed off. He was like, man, his clap was kind of soft. It didn't even pump me up. I need that
falling
clap.
asleep over here.
I also like when I say give it up for Zawodni, everybody. Jake goes.
I thought we were doing
He started clapping.
I appreciate it. I wasn't going to clap for myself.
No, you can't.
I wasn't going to clap for myself.
So, dude, thanks for being on. I gotta say, I will say, I got back from Aruba, baby. This is our first recording back since I've gotten back from vacation. I'm a little tan. That's why I'm wearing a light gray shirt.
You're
Nice.
not that tan.
Okay, well,
You got a
sorry.
little color, though.
Oh.
You know what it is? Because I think that when people get tan, you can tell around the elbow. You got some elbow darkness.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
That's diabetes. Who knows? No, I don't know. But yeah, every time I go on vacation with my family tans really well. I don't. And I just burn. So I sit under an umbrella, and then at the end of the week, everyone's so tan, real Italian tan, and I'm the Polish, just red. So it doesn't, it's not great. But
I sympathize with that. I'm half Puerto Rican, but I can't be in the sun, like, at all. Like, I burned like crazy. So I'm similar. I'd be under the umbrella with my Puerto Rican family, just burnt to a crisp.
I would have thought you would have got a nice tan.
I could get a little tan, but it really needs to be built up over, like, steadily.
Yeah.
I can't do, like, a one day. That's insane to me.
yeah.
So you're I've heard you say you're half Puerto Rican and half Jewish. Which if I
They
would
also
have
tan.
if I would have told Dylan that before the show, he wouldn't have been allowed on. He gets
Which side would not be allowed?
We only actually allow Polish people on this podcast.
yeah, it's all Polish.
You snuck on, dude.
Got it.
I told him your real last name was Velazquezinski.
Not a real thinking man's podcast.
How dare you?
Because they're dumb.
How dare you, dude?
You're a Bronx? Are you a Bronx guy? Did I
Yeah,
make
but
that
more
up?
specifically Riverdale, which is like a nice little area, very Irish Catholic neighborhood.
Is that's where you grew up? You grew up in the city?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Back-to-back episodes of City Dwellers.
Who's the last one?
Actually, it'll be a couple, but Kunal Aurora.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
He's a city guy, Queens guy.
Queens guy, yeah.
Former guest. But yeah, dude, that's wild, dude.
So
That's
why am I, who's not a very familiar, like a guy that's very familiar with like the boroughs, why is there such a stigma around the Bronx, like as being like the toughest of all the 5 boroughs?
I would say just because so Riverdale's very nice. Outside of Riverdale, the rest of the borough's pretty rough. Whereas like every other borough has multiple nice parts. The Bronx really doesn't.
Were you not allowed to go to those other parts?
I would go for like Yankees games, Bronx Zoo, my high school, so I would, but like you're not like hanging out in those areas.
I like how Ray was just like, why are there so many shootings in the Bronx? Is there one thing about just like the Bronx in general that makes it bad?
It's
No,
sketchy.
I just well, also we're doing a podcast, so we're trying to open up people with
Sure,
looser
sure.
questions than me
Okay.
just going, so what the fuck? He's trying to attack my artistic integrity here and my skills as an interviewer. But no, I just knew that when I moved here, I was like, oh, I never been to the Bronx after like being here for like a couple of months, and people were like, yeah, you don't need to go to the Bronx. Bronx is
There's stuff to do and see in the Bronx. There's a really cool Little Italy called Arthur Avenue. And then it's a little more foresty.
Okay.
It's more of like which is like
Oh,
nice.
yeah. Way up. Once you're getting like way up in
That's
the Bronx.
where Riverdale is. Riverdale's like a forest. It's like living in a forest. There's
That's pretty
tons of
nice.
trees.
That's one of those things. Growing up on Long Island, that's the equivalent. If you jumped across, you get to the top of the Bronx, and then you go left or right, whether you're in New Jersey or New York. That I consider like upstate New York almost. It's so weird how that works, but it's like longitude level. You're in the Bronx basically.
Yeah, Riverdale. A lot of people will be like, "That's not really the city. That's not really the Bronx." It feels a little suburban. But the thing is, it's surrounded by, on one side, pretty rough area of the Bronx, and then on the other side is Yonkers, but like like School Street, where like Jadakiss is from.
oh shit.
So it's like surrounded by these like bad areas. So in the summer, like a lot of people will come in, try to like either steal cars or like mug kids. So there is a level of danger, but it's not bad. It's still a very nice area. But
Have you ever been mugged?
no, because I was a huge pussy as a kid. I think I got out of I have almost every one of my friends has, but I always evaded.
like get their ass kicked, mugged, or just
Either
held up.
gunpoint or got their one or the other.
Damn. Yep. Oh, dude, I got a fucking story before we get into it. Dude, I was in an Uber the other night, and the Uber got rear-ended. Did I tell you this, Ray?
No.
The Uber got rear-ended. Okay, this is 3:00 in the morning. The Uber gets rear-ended, and I was watching Friday Night Lights on my phone.
Nice.
I'm rewatching the show. So it was like right after. You don't like the show, dude?
No, it's fine.
It's a great show, dude.
It is a good show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
It's not bad.
But I'm watching, like, literally the scene was happening. I couldn't make this up, where the Jason Street is like in his rehab because he's been paralyzed at this point.
Yeah.
And he's in his rehab and he's getting into his wheelchair and everything. And we get rear-ended 3 a.m. I'm like pretty wasted, pretty drunk. And I'm sitting there, not hard or anything. And then the guy's just sitting there. And I'm like, hey, are you going to get out? I was like, are you okay? Like, we got to go talk to these guys. He's like, yeah. But he's not moving. So I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I see him. He reaches across his seat, and he pulls a wheelchair out. And he had no legs.
What?
He had, dude, I'm telling you, 3 a.m., I was shook.
That's
I was
crazy.
shook, dude. I was like, what is happening, dude? This is crazy.
And then he gets out in the wheelchair and someone hits into him.
It was wild.
Another guy in a wheelchair rear ends him in his wheelchair.
I looked through the back. I didn't get out right away. I looked through the back, and it was this like Guido Italian Jersey guy was like the one who hit us. And I just see him. He's like, they're yelling at each other, and the guy's in his wheelchair just like pointing up, and he's like, fuck you very much. And I was like, Jesus. So then I got out. The cops came. Dude, it was wild.
That is crazy.
I remember the cop was like, let me move your car for you. And he goes to put the wheelchair in the back. And I was like, oh, dude, you can't put it in the back there because you can't get it. because I was watching Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
I know, it's got to be in the passenger
Wow.
seat.
Yeah.
This guy.
And he's like, yeah, man, I'm going to move it again, you fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing?
I just think it's funny that you're hammered drunk at 3 a.m. watching Friday Night Lights in the back of a cab.
Yeah, that is funny.
Dude, I had 25-minute drive,
Yeah, that's fair.
The-
That's
the-
an episode's length.
Yeah, it's perfect. Dude, the
Texas forever, baby.
one of the wildest Ubers I was ever in is I scheduled one when I was in Milwaukee for like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something like that, just because sometimes when you order them in the morning, they just won't come, or they'll, like you can miss your flight that way, like trying to get to the airport. And this dude picks me up and we're in the car and I'm kind of tired, but I could tell he wants to like chit chat. And I'm such a, I don't have the confidence to be like, hey, I'm just going to kind of chill back here. So I was like, yeah, man, I'm just glad you were able to get me, this early in the morning because, sometimes like people will cancel rides this early. He's like, that's why, like, I'm glad you scheduled it. When you schedule one, I always pick them up because I assume they're going to the airport. He's like, because last year I had an issue where I picked somebody up that wasn't scheduled at like 3:30 in the morning. It was these 2 guys. And one of them, I keep asking them questions where they're going. I was telling them to put their mask on for COVID. That's when you needed to do it in the cars, and they wouldn't. So finally I stopped, told them to get out. The dude swung a knife at me. Whoa. He was like, I grabbed my gun off of the side of my hip. I fired a shot in the back, hit the one guy, get out, shoot the other guy. The dude got a bullet wound, and he comes around the other side. I shoot him again. And then I was like, Jesus Christ. And if you saw how this guy was built, you're kind of like, man, I can't believe he had the ability to do that type of John Wick shit.
Oh my God.
And I'm just sitting in the back. I'm like, yeah, dude, if you're worried about me causing trouble, man, I'm just trying to get to the airport. I don't know what the way you're trying to threaten me.
I love how he casually mentions, he's like, so if you're thinking about anything, I got a gun on me right now. Just putting that out there.
Also, was that guy a murderer? Did he kill somebody? Was he saying he killed somebody?
I think he did kill one of them.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's crazy. That not only because, self-defense, I get that.
Yeah.
But to just go right back to driving Uber is pretty gangsta.
Well,
To just be unfazed by it.
You got to walk around. That would be wild to walk around with literally just be like, yeah, I've killed people.
Crazy.
Even if it's like in like a justified killing, just walking around with that's wild.
Do you think those people are sadder or more confident?
Probably more confident.
I think more confident.
More confident.
more confident, and like they probably have a much weirder like respect for life. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it could go either way.
like-
I think I agree with you, but I think it could also go the other way where they have a complete disregard for it.
Oh,
You
okay.
know?
Because I was kind of thinking like that
He
guy
might kill someone and be like,
That was easy.
that was easier than going to bed at night.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was,
I was-
way easier than I thought it would be.
I was
You know what?
thinking
That's
more like
that's easier than doing taxes, baby.
like he was fighting for his life. Like he had a real fear for his life.
Yeah.
Which I think I've had at times in my life, but not really.
Also, something I know it obviously wouldn't like explode, but something about firing a gun in a car is that's terrifying.
So
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah, so loud.
So, dude, that's wild.
My grandfather killed somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he ever tell you the story?
I know the story, but
What happened?
I finally asked him about it when I was real drunk when I was at a wedding when I was 19. But he got a dishonorable discharge from the military at first. It got expunged, and he got it honorable like years and years later. Damn. But I guess he was stationed at a bar in Mexico. And so you could tell it wasn't during like combat times.
Yeah.
We weren't
always a
going
good way
to
to
war
start.
with we weren't going to war in Mexico in the in the 60s. But he like stabbed a dude. He got into like an altercation with a dude and stabbed him in the bar and killed him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Few Good Men style.
That's amazing.
Damn, dude. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Was that A Few Good Men?
I thought you were
No,
gonna
well,
say something like it was like a
dishonorable
work. It
discharge.
was a very Polish reason, like he like unscrewed the wrong thing and it fell and on somebody.
Yeah,
Hey, he does duct work, and he was
Yeah.
installing an AC unit.
he was an electrician in the military, and a ceiling fan fell on a guy.
Oh my God. Well, dude. So yeah, have you ever had a bad Uber experience?
Actually, Uber's been pretty good, but back before Uber, me and my friends used to always run cabs,
Oh yeah,
That was
okay.
the best.
Okay.
and
I hate cabs.
I hate cabs too. And one of the things, because we were in like high school, but I remember you had to pay cash back in the day. So like, I remember we were coming back from the city to Riverdale. You have to go over this toll bridge, and the guy was like, "Do you have cash?" And me and my friend just looked at each other with our pockets empty and just started dying laughing. We're like, we're literally about to run this cab. How do we tell this guy that we're just not going to pay the toll? And we're like, we'll get cash when we get there. And then when we got to Riverdale, we ran the cab into the woods.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Dude. We used to do that in college. There were guys that they would only pick up at our college. So, which is so dumb. It's so dumb when you think about it, because there was like 10 guys who drove cabs in the area. So like you couldn't do it more than once, but people used to run on them all the time. And if you ever got into a fight with a cab driver, like got into an argument, the big thing was you would get out and you would open all the doors and you would just leave all the doors open.
Yeah.
Dude,
You got to leave the doors open.
They would get so mad. One time, a buddy of mine who I played rugby with got into an argument with the cab driver, and this was a big dude. He was like 6'5", like meaty dude. Like should have probably played a defensive end at a D1 school, like
Oh, shit.
And he's playing rugby with us, second row. And he gets into an argument with the cab driver. The cab driver's like, fuck you. And he gets out calmly, closes the door, and then minivan, those big windows, dude takes his fucking bear claw mitt and just punches the window out.
Wow.
And
Holy shit.
and then ran.
Yeah.
Ran, took off. Never caught him. Never got in trouble for it.
Well, it was fun when you would run so that time was me and my friend, but there was a handful of times it'd be like 4 or a full cab.
Yeah.
And that was fun because they would never get you because they just were so overwhelmed. Like just like 5 kids scattering, like, and then everyone's gone,
Do they ever get out? Have they ever gotten out?
Oh, they would always get out. But the thing is, because we knew the neighborhood better than they would know it, we would always go to this thing where you could walk, but you can't drive down.
Okay.
And so we would get dropped off there. There's like a building across the street, and we would just run straight into that shortcut and then into the woods. But there's a couple times when, you can't really see, where we just would run into like a thicket of thorns. And it was kind of like karma. Like we were just scratched up from
kind of got what you deserve.
Yeah, we got exactly what we deserved. So
that fucking poor guy can't feed his 7 kids. You asshole just ran out on a fair.
Were you a latchkey kid?
what's latchkey?
Like a little scumbag.
No, I don't actually know what it means, but I know a lot of city kids. It's like you have a key to your house, and it's like your parents are never home, and it's mostly because they're working, and you just you leave in the morning, you come back, and then you can just do whatever you want. Maybe. A lot of city kids, I feel like, have that upbringing. But
I think by comparison, maybe to other places, but definitely not like my parents were like kind of a little more strict than the average parent, at least compared to my friends. But I still was like one of those kids like didn't have a cell phone but had a curfew. You know, it was like 8 p.m. like when I was like 6 or something. It was like crazy.
Yeah.
But then when I was older, in like late high school, early college, I guess I was like a latchkey kid, but I feel like everyone was at that by that point. Yeah. But yeah, no, I was definitely a scumbag, but I think my parents were like good at keeping me in check a little.
Yeah. Were you a drinker when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Are you still drink, or are you sober?
I don't
now?
drink as much. I do the holidays. I go on a bender every holiday season.
All right.
What
fair.
are you talking about, like Thanksgiving to Christmas?
Sometimes I even take the liberty of going Halloween
Good.
to New Year's, Halloween to New Year's.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's fun.
because it is fun. Yeah, but
Best time.
But when I started drinking young, like 6th grade, 7th grade, so I drank like a ton, like high school, college.
Yeah, I started around 13, I think.
So it's similar. I was like 11 or 12.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's
What was your first drinks? What were you were you guys drinking beer? You drinking vodka? You drinking those wine coolers? Wine coolers you never see anymore.
You don't.
You never see them.
I was
like
never
the
into
first
those.
thing I drank.
Really?
Me
when
too.
I was like, we were at a block party around the corner, and I had these friends whose mom was she was like, I'm the cool mom. You guys can come hang out here. And like, I remember one time she gave us eggs to go egg the neighbor's house. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this. I was
crazy.
like, I told my mom, and she was like, yeah, you're 12 and more responsible than this 37-year-old woman, Dylan. I'm very proud of you.
Stay away from Kathy.
She's
She's
like, her name was Debbie too.
close.
Debbie. Yeah.
But I probably would. It was rap music was pretty big back then. So OE was a big staple.
Shit.
There's a lot of OE,
Just
but
starting with Old English. Jesus.
Bud Light, Coors Light, and then if someone had liquor, I would drink liquor. But I want to say that was probably more like high school. By the time I got to high school, that I started.
The first thing I truly remember drinking was I was like maybe 12 or 13, something like that. Was a Miller High Life 40.
Wow, 40. It was the 40s were very popular.
40s were
back
the
then-
shit.
back in the day.
Champagne of beers.
Yeah,
Because you're about our age, right? You're
32.
32. Yeah.
How old
so
are you guys?
33.
34.
Oh,
I just turned
34.
34.
I'm the youngest.
Oh, okay.
I'm the youngest.
Aren't you 34 now?
No, not till August.
Oh, jeez.
Coming up.
But
Damn.
we should we should have some 40s soon.
I got some claws in the fridge.
It's just
but,
kind of gross when you get to the bot. It is the worst way to drink beer.
That's why you got to burn it
Because
down.
I know
there,
you
dude.
have to chug it because otherwise it's just flat. You have 20 ounces of flat beer. It's disgusting.
So gross.
Edward 40 hands. Did you guys do that?
I've done it.
I never did it. We would always talk about it, but we never actually
Oh
did it.
yeah, we did that all the time in college. The trick was with Edward 40 hands. I'm assuming everybody knows what that is, but you put a 40 in each hand and you duct tape them to your hands, and you're not allowed to take them off until they're done. So the goal was to just at least get the first one down before you had to pee.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then they take the one off. So I would just chug the first one as fast as I could, and then in the second one you pee like 4 times.
Right.
And then that second one is going to be warm the
Yeah,
whole way
right.
through, probably.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, they're like it's like 3.5 beers, something like that, right?
It's 40 ounces.
It's like a cut of beer.
A beer is 8 ounces, right, or 12 maybe.
Yeah.
A beer is 12.
12 ounces.
Yeah, it's about 4 beers.
Tall boys were big, like the 16 to 24s.
Yeah.
That became like, even through college, even like after college, I think I was still on the tall boys. That was always the move because you get a little more bang for your buck.
You guys, so we're all of the age when Four Locos, the original Four Loco, came out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Those were the best. Those were the best.
Dude, that was like right in peak. Like, that was my sophomore year of college. They
Me
were
too.
like, hey, there are these things. It was like the original seltzer because it was like, these are these things that don't taste like vodka. They don't taste like beer. And they have caffeine and hard alcohol, and it fucks you up.
Dude, those things were like way harder than seltzer though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
It was like a drink. It was like a different experience.
And
being
that
drunk
was
off them.
That was probably the pinnacle of my dirtbagness. You know, because like you said, sophomore college, like I was like probably like a freshman, senior high. Like I was like doing Molly then too. It was I was the worst person. Like if I look back, I would love to beat the shit out of who I was then. You know what I mean? Just doing Molly and drinking Four Loco.
Oh, I love that.
Like an
dude.
Ed Hardy t-shirt.
Oh my God, I want to beat the shit out of you.
Were you like a rave guy?
No, just really for like 1 year, I was kind of getting into it because I just discovered drugs, you know.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I got to college, I was like, no, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, so you discovered drugs before college, pre-college.
I smoked a lot of weed during high school, and then I probably did like Molly ecstasy like senior year. A good amount,
Damn.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, I didn't do Molly till I was pretty fucking old.
I've never done it.
What about cocaine?
Cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That
But
was
how
always
old?
fun. College.
See, I was a late bloomer on that. I was like 25.
Yeah.
Like I did it when I was 25, and then I became 28. I just like was just like a 3-year bender. It's insane.
Dude, there's a photo of me on my 21st birthday where I'm like sitting on a couch, getting ready to go out. I'm sitting on a recliner and I'm drinking. I have like a 24 ounce, one of those tall boys of Foster's.
Nice.
Foster's, because rugby, we loved Foster's.
Makes
and then in the other hand is one of the tall Four Locos. Then we went out that night and I drank. Up in Albany, where we would go, you would drink the boot. You would go to either a German place where they would give you a free boot that was like 10 beers.
Yeah.
Or you would go to this place called Bombers where they would give you a margarita that was like 10 margaritas. And you would drink that on your birthday. You'd get it for free.
Albany is, by the way, like that's where I did most of my debauchery because everyone from Riverdale goes to Albany. Like in college for whatever reason, because it's like that's where everyone goes. So everyone then more people want to go because their friends will be there.
Yeah.
That is the biggest dirtbag college in the country. I think it's insane.
I think it might be.
All the parties are like, oh, we have like jungle juice, but we also spiked it with OxyContin. It's like, why? Why are we doing this? It's insane. It's so dumb.
Yeah, it really is, dude. It is a crazy town. I went to Siena, which is like right outside of Albany, but we used to go out in Albany all the time freshman year. I remember the first weekend in college, we went out to a bar in Albany, which was like such a stupid thing. We had no idea what we were doing, and the cab driver drops us off by this bar. I didn't have an ID. I just had my real ID, and my friend was like, oh, don't worry, they'll let us in. I was like, sure, okay. So he drops us off. There's this one bar in the middle of like the ghetto, Arbor Hill of Albany, which is like, it might be, I think it is one of the like worst areas like in the country almost in terms of like money and like population.
Right.
It's like very, very bad. And the guy was like, "Are you guys sure that you want to get out here?" And we were like, yeah, there's a bar right there. We go in, we don't get in. So then we can leave. Later, I find out if we take like a left, we'll go closer to like the Albany bars.
Right.
If we take a right, we go closer to like the
hood.
the ghetto, basically. So we take a right and not thinking about it. We just start walking. Dude, all of a sudden, there's like 5 of us. These like 13, 14-year-olds on bikes start circling us, and they're like, "What are you guys doing? Oh, what, you got any money on you?" And I was like, "This is my first weekend in college. I cannot get fucking murdered my first weekend in college." We ended up walking to a gas station. The guy let us like use his phone to call a cab, and the guy picked us up. It was like it was like we were escaping. I wasn't afraid of these guys. I was afraid that they were gonna like ride back and get like older guys and be fish on the pond, let's go fucking rob them.
Upstate New York has some horrible areas. I was doing comedy recently in this place called Arkport, New York, which is like somewhere no one. It's really nice. It's like no one's ever heard of it. But on the way back, we stopped to get gas somewhere, and it was that exact scenario. There was just people on bikes circling the gas station. I'm like, I don't think they got to fill up the tank for these bicycles, so we should probably get the hell out of here. That's terrifying.
I think that is a scary sight. Is just like a late night, a bunch of like teenagers circling me on a bike. Like now, like I could kick most 14-year-olds' asses, but like 4 of them are gonna spook me.
Oh, yeah.
And, dude, the teenagers are the ones that cause trouble because they know they'll get away with it, and there's no moral compass yet.
Yeah.
My friend just got robbed in Central Park. Not just, like 6 months ago, got robbed in Central Park by, like, 14s. You're just, like, walking late at night, and they just, like, pulled a knife. And, like, he probably would have beat him up, but they have a knife out. You're just going to, like, all right, take my money.
Yeah, you'd rather, it's, like, worth, like, $60 to not get fucking stabbed.
Knowing him was probably, like, 5. So, it was fine. Yeah.
Have they take his phone?
I think they took everything,
Oh, that sucks. I honestly, I don't know if I would give my phone. I have pictures on there. I got like comedy notes. I got recordings. I don't know if I would give it up.
I think the move is to like go to hand it and just smash it on the ground. Just like, fuck it.
I've said this before. My brother 2 years ago for Christmas got me a legit switchblade knife.
Nice.
That sits in my apartment. I never bring it out, but I wonder. I've always thought about that. If like someone is like, give me your money, and I was just like, yeah, and I just pulled that out, and I was like, let's fucking go, what they would do.
And the knife scares me because I don't want to use it.
Exactly. I'm not ready to use the knife.
I think the taser would be nice.
True.
Because the noise alone might scare him off.
That's a feminine look, though. Just a dude walking around with a taser.
This is, I think, the move.
It's a step above fucking pepper spray.
Just to look less gay. My thought is that you also have brass knuckles.
Oh,
in one hand, and then the taser in the other.
Dude, brass knuckles is tight.
I know, because then you're like, I will tase you and then beat the shit out of you.
I would like to learn like nunchucks.
Nunchucks would be cool because you keep them at a distance.
Yeah.
Well, what's the other thing? The baton.
Oh yeah.
Because they have some small ones that really go out, and those things got some weight to them. You could do some damage.
Dude, my buddy's a NYPD cop, and he told me my buddy's brother is an NYPD cop, and he said when they trained, like in the academy, they spend a full like 3 days just with the baton. It's like a 2-week, 3-week academy, and it's like 3 legit days on like how to properly use the baton, like springs open. Those things they hurt.
Oh
man.
yeah, I think it's
like a lead ball on the end.
No, I know there's this kid from my neighborhood that's just a hulking Irish construction worker that's terrifying, and he was like once just completely. I think when he gets into fights, he like just sees red and he's just like ruining someone's life. And cops came over and they were just like multiple batoning him, and like you could see him after he was a little banged up. Oh, it's not great.
Jesus.
Yeah. But those things are, I think they're like the safest. I mean, like for you, like if you're the one using it, it's probably that or like or the tasers you could shoot.
Yeah,
would be sick.
Yeah.
Why would wait? Can you fuck yourself up tasing somebody with one of the close range ones?
I don't think you can fuck yourself up, but they're kind of like, I did a Jordan's podcast and she tased me, and it's like you kind of just eat it. Like it's not that bad.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you hold it, eventually it like will kill the muscle. But like the one you shoot, that is like it drops people.
You got to get one of the ones that like like drops you right away.
Yeah.
Like turn the voltage up. And really. Just. Also, you got to get close. If they got a knife, you're like, hey, come here.
Well, that's why I like to shoot
And tase them in the neck.
because you could do it from like a range.
Well, I think if I mastered nunchucks, I would never really have to use them. If I just did like a quick demo at
cool
them,
move.
they're like, all right, we'll let this guy keep his wallet.
The trick is you gotta, whenever someone approaches you like that to get into a fight, you gotta act like this is what you've been waiting for.
That's
Back up, motherfucker! Back up!
Make my fucking day.
You're like, oh, thank God.
Also-
I've been hoping that I could stab someone tonight.
Also, I think the nunchucks would fit nicely in the back pocket. Like,
Oh,
you could
yeah.
really just slide them out. You know what I mean?
Well, I would probably try to, like, if I'm buying nunchucks, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to try to buy some, like, nunchuck holster that they have
Ooh, a
maybe go
holster
right
would
on
be
the
nice.
side of my hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, though. There's no good way to you beat the shit out of 4 13-year-olds.
It's awesome.
There's no good way that you don't come out of that clean at all. It's like, hey, I was defending myself, and it's like, these guys are 12.
Yeah, but I think if they have a weapon on
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
I think you're justified. I don't know the law.
And you kind of look like a rock star, too. You know?
If you take down 4, it's kind of impressive. Add up their age.
You can't tell that story, though. You're like, yeah, I got robbed this weekend. Fought off 4 guys. Really? Oh, my God. What happened? Well, they were on their bikes. They were bike riding?
Tricycles, actually.
Yeah, well, that's why you lie a little. They were on Harleys. This was a biker gang I beat up with nunchucks. Not
They had
children.
Dude, they had the soda cans in the back wheel, so it sounded like a Harley.
My friend that got robbed at in Central Park, it was in the news, so all his friends made fun of him. But it's like, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Just
Seriously.
just beat the shit out of these kids.
Have you ever gotten in police trouble? You ever gotten in trouble with the cops?
I've skirted so much, so I've been stopped and searched a dozen times
Really?
probably, and I've been taken home twice, but I've never gotten the ticket.
Never gotten a ticket.
I've always evaded it. Yeah.
Damn.
Have you been cuffed up?
When I got brought home, and also my friends, it's very Irish, so everyone's like a firefighter or police, all their dads. So I was always rolling with someone that had a card, just a get out of jail free.
PBA card?
Yeah, PBA or SBA. Yeah.
It's an actual card.
Yeah, I got one. You know what they are, though? There's...
Well, fuck me, I guess.
Well, they're so common. Every cop gets 10 of them a year, and they give out. The ones that really make a difference now, every cop also gets 2 or 3 badges that they can give to family members.
Okay.
So the badges are really big because those are they're this small, and it's a legit badge. My buddy has one because
Yeah.
his brother, and he
Right.
puts it in his wallet. Yeah.
What did you get driven home for?
Just drinking in the woods, and I tried to run, and I got caught. And then it was almost always drinking
Yeah.
or weed or whatever. There was actually one time we were driving back from visiting my friend in college, and we were legit hotboxing the car, and this an upstate police officer and the state police that look in the gray uniform, not a New York City cop.
Yeah, a trooper.
Yeah, trooper. And he pulled us over, and we're like, all right, we're all going to jail. We're smoking weed. And he literally popped his head in and just let us go. And we were all rookie. Had no clue.
He's just cutting you guys a break, and you're like, what an idiot.
Yeah, it was so
You
funny.
didn't want to haul in just 4 white kids for smoking weed.
It was very
Jesus.
clear. We were just so clearly had just got done smoking. It was insane.
Everybody's eyes are just fucking beat red.
Smoke is pooling out over the vehicles.
Open your windows.
Bob Marley's playing.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. What about you? Have you guys ever gotten arrested?
Oh,
Ray has.
Yeah. Couple of only cuffed once, and I was just a boy. I was 18. And that was for and my
So
mine
legally
were-
an adult.
Yeah, that's legally an adult.
So an adult?
When you said just a boy, I was expecting so much younger.
I'm still kind of just a boy.
Yeah, I get that.
But I all my arrests and trouble I got into were for drinking and shit.
yeah.
Yeah. We talk a lot about people getting into fights on the pod and shit, and I haven't have you been into a fight in a long time?
Oh, not for a while. But
Yeah.
I have
Growing up, I
actually
bet. Fights.
early 20s, which is not that far away, or maybe 19. That's not that, but that's kind of long ago. I guess.
Why were you fighting though?
It was St. Patty's Day.
Dude, people just want to fight on St. Patty's Day.
I love that he said it to me like that was a reasonable answer. St. Patrick's
Yeah,
Day.
you know.
No, I didn't start though. I've never started a fight.
Me
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like me being like to someone else, like, let's fight. I hate fighting, but
Me too.
I got roped into it.
Was it like a brawl?
It was a brawl.
Hell yeah.
I've been in like 3 fights. What was the one that St. Patty's Day? What was the fight?
So me and my friends, we used to do kegs and eggs in Riverdale.
Yes, dude.
You guys do kegs and eggs?
Yeah, in Albany, dude. It's the
Nice.
best.
So we would do it in our neighborhood, like all throughout high school, and then me and my friends, we get to college, we're like, we'll show these kids how to really do it. And we went to the woods at midnight the night before, and so we drank until 7 a.m.,
Oh my God.
shit.
which was a bad idea.
Always.
And so I'm like blacked out. I'm like leaning on a tree, and these kids are coming. And my friend, who's like always starts fights, and he's like not who you would think would start fights. He's just like so drunk, and he just goes, "That kid gave me the middle finger." None of us saw it. He just walks up to the kid and punches him in the face. And then it was like kids that weren't from there, so it was like a big group of them, and we had no idea who were fighting because we were blackout drunk,
Yeah.
and they know exactly who we are because we're blackout drunk, and so just like 4 kids just start beating the shit out of all of us, and I got my ass beat, and then I went home to my mom, I have a bunch of younger sisters. It's like 7:30 a.m. She's like getting my sisters ready for school. I'm just like bleeding, blackout drunk.
Oh my God.
Are you even 21 yet?
I think it was either like right before I think it was like maybe like a year or two before I was 21.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is a fucking rough look.
Yeah, it was a really bad luck.
I will say nothing better than drinking in the woods, though.
Oh, it's the best.
That is nice.
It's the best, especially with kegs.
That is nice that you had the experience of drinking in the woods also in the city.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
rare experience.
And I for some reason I would always sneak into bars, but I looked like a baby. I don't know why. I always had luck though, like getting into bars at
Yeah.
like underage. Yeah. So I would do like the bars or the woods. That was always our options. We'd like take a cab to the city that we would eventually run on the way home and drink in the city or just drink in the woods.
Oh, that's fine. I wasn't a big we would drink by the falls. There was
nice.
and when I say falls, it makes it sound nicer than it was. It was just like a creek.
That's
we used
like
to call it
similar,
the
though.
falls. Yeah.
That's very similar.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It was pretty fun.
That Pennsylvania.
Hell yeah, dude. I got into a one of the like I didn't fight a lot. Like
I feel like you're one of those people though, the fight's over when you enter the match.
I hated it.
But you're a big guy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and
Look at those mitts, dude.
I know, it's crazy.
tell me after if you think this is me starting the fight. Is I went to this party at Pitt like when I was like a freshman, and I didn't go to Pitt, and my buddy Mitch didn't go to Pitt either. He went to a different school. And
Not a good start.
And we go to this party. Of like,
I'm going to say yes, you started it without
Coming
hearing
as
any
the
of the story.
outsider.
but we knew a lot of the people that were there, and I'm fucking like blacked out when I get to this party. And they have a cooler of jungle juice that's made of styrofoam. It's like one of those styrofoam coolers, and it's shut on the top. So I sit on the cooler, not realizing what it was. That's how drunk I was, and it just explodes. And there's jungle juice everywhere. There's styrofoam, and I stand up and I'm like trying to like play it off, like I'm like clearly embarrassed.
That's right.
And this one of the dudes that like rented the apartment that was throwing the party that I didn't know rolls up on me and gets right in my face, and he's like, "Come on, you fucking, what the fuck's your problem? Like, you fat asshole, blah 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 blah." And I kind of just like looked on my left, looked on my right, and just swing a headbutt at him and fucking drop him. And
Yeah, you started the fight.
Yeah, that's the everything about that. I don't even see the
he
question.
called me a fat asshole.
No,
So-
you broke the jungle juice and then threw the first head.
And then, you could have said, "I'm so sorry, man. I thought it was a bench. I didn't know. I thought it was a cooler, not styrofoam."
Yeah, but he came up to me with a bunch of attitude.
No, but I thought you were gonna go totally different. I thought he was gonna throw the first punch and he called you a fat asshole. And I'm like, here we have a case. You still broke the jungle juice, but I mean, this is a clear as day.
This is a clear. You were the starter of the fight.
Yeah.
Well, I get like escorted out by one of like my friends that I didn't even know was there. He like sees me there. I headbutt another guy on the way out, and then I'm standing in the street and I'm like just talking shit. I'm like, somebody come out here, somebody come out here. And I'm really not like that. I was just so drunk and young and stupid. And then my 2 friends that I was there with come out, and I'm giving my buddy Mitch shit because I was like, you didn't have my fucking back in there, dude. So me and him we're fighting in the Cathedral Lawn, which is like the main building at the University of Pittsburgh. It's on every brochure. And it's just me and my buddy Mitch at 1 a.m. rolling around, wrestling and like swinging on each other. And then my friend Jack just leaves us there because he's so embarrassed and he's like, fuck you guys. So I'm like walking home with a bloody nose on the opposite street as Mitch, and we're just like yelling at each other, and like we're getting ready to walk like 5 miles. We walked like 3 of them and finally got a friend to pick us up. And the next day I found out from my friend Jack, he's like, yeah, dude, I was like, why were me and Mitch fighting? He was like, well, you were screaming how he didn't have your back, but you didn't happen to see that right after you headbutted that dude, Mitch just randomly like speared another guy in the room, like just tackled him. So I was like, oh, well.
That's a good friend, dude.
Yeah, it sounds like a good friend.
That's a good
Yeah,
friend.
I didn't start that fight. You don't attack somebody's weight. Especially I was 19 years old. I was very sensitive about it.
That's fair.
Dude, of course, dude. Of course you started that fight.
And if you're close, and if you're yelling at somebody close enough to them to be headbutted,
Yeah.
The
Kind of
headbutt
on you.
is the funniest way to start a
it's
fight.
a savage move.
Did you do forward head?
Yeah, just swung it in, like just
Right.
blasted him.
I had a friend that was like, he was just the ultimate fighter. He didn't try to start fights unless he was drunk. But he like literally was like training UFC and everything. But he would always say that you got to do the side headbutt because then you bleed into your eyes with the front.
Jesus. That's a guy who's headbutted a lot of
Too
things.
much. He's
That was-
headbutting too much.
That's what I was gonna say. That's a guy that's headbutted too many people.
Too many people. He would lead headbutt.
Dude,
That's
that's
a good
crazy.
move.
It's just so surprising. No one's expecting to get headbutt.
Dude, a headbutt is so insane.
It's insane.
Dude, who was the guy on the Red Sox who let the ball go through his legs in the '86 World
Bill
Series?
Buckner.
Bill Buckner. Dude, people give him shit. I read this book, The Bad Guys Won. It's about the '86 Mets. Great book. Are you a Mets fan or a Yankees fan?
Yankees.
Yeah, Mets fan. You know, fuck off. Great book, but they spend the whole section on Bill Buckner, how he got so much shit. But he was like one of the like most respected, badass, tough players like of the time. And there's a story about him in the minors where he used to get so mad when he would strike out that he would go in the back and he would just break bats and he would like just trash shit. And then eventually they were like, "Hey, Bill, like, this is the minors. We don't have money for you to just be breaking bats all the time." So he strikes out like a few days later, and they just find him behind the dugout, and he's bareheaded, just nailing his head against like the cement wall,
What?
and he's bleeding from his forehead.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Yeah.
sickening.
That's a lunatic.
That's a lunatic.
And then they were like, it's so sad that this is what he's remembered for, is this play when he's like older. He shouldn't have been in the game. I mean, thank God he was, because the Mets ended up winning the greatest World Series of all time.
Clearly
But,
has
like,
some brain damage.
Oh,
from
yeah,
bashing
CTE.
his
Yeah, that's
face into
insane.
cement.
That's into another level. My friend who also threw the punch on St. Patty's Day drunkenly, we went to Chicago together once, and he lost his wallet. It was like his third time losing his wallet, and he was so mad. He just like threw a combo at a cement wall and broke his hand. I'm like, you're retarded. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen someone do. But that's another headbutting. I can't even. That's insane.
Dude, yeah. I think I've only started one fight in college, and it was such a dumb reason. I remember I was dating a girl at the time, and there was a kid who like, he was smaller too, but I was, this is my college years where I was very insecure. I was very like jealous, I'm like,
Just point at me.
Yeah, you're insecure. You're like,
I wasn't
someone's like-
insecure, but I can tell when somebody's trying to hurt my feelings, and I
okay.
don't like it.
Okay. So I was like 20, and I remember we were dating, and this kid he was always nice to me, but he was always flirting like with my girlfriend, and she would be like, "Oh, he's just such a nice guy," and I'm like, "You don't see what's happening.
They don't get it.
Obviously, it has a crush on you, and it's making me uncomfortable. Now I don't care, but like back then, Dylan, who's dating his first girlfriend and is like, insecure about all this stuff and doesn't have a beard yet, and I was like, I
take
see
care of
him
business.
out, and I remember me and my ex got into like an argument at the bar over this kid, because I was like hanging out with my friends, and I turn around and they're like dancing, and which again, now who gives a shit?
Right.
But like at the time, I was just like so jealous and angry, and I was like, why, like. Now I would say, like, that makes me uncomfortable. Why are you doing that? But then I'm like, why are you being an asshole? Like, blah, 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 And she's like, all right, I'm leaving. So then she leaves, and this kid, like, I intentionally, I see him like walking in the bathroom, and I intentionally like shoulder him hard, and then I think I was like, dude, why'd you bump into me? And then he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean, man? He's being so nice. I feel bad about that. We ended up being friends after, but like, I push him. He pushes me back. I push him again. And then he tried to spear me, but he was like 5'4", maybe.
Nice.
And like, it was basically, and I was I was even bigger then. And he like speared me. I just like put him in a headlock and just started like punching him in the stomach. But I was such a bitch. I was like not punching him super hard because I felt bad. I like felt like,
I get that.
I don't have.
You're just teaching him a lesson.
yeah.
I don't have a killer instinct. I'm not gonna be able to.
Back to the whole knife thing. I don't want to use it.
Yeah, right. I've never liked fighting, but all my friends love fighting, so I've just been a witness to a lot. But I've only been in like 2 or 3.
What was the most vicious one you've seen?
I was in one of the most vicious ones, but I was like on the outside, like just taking blows for the team.
Yeah.
But one of my friends got his wallet like stolen by a kid. He like punched him in the face. Then this kid called a bunch of people. So then he called a bunch of people, and we're in this parking lot. And one of my friends who used to play rugby as well was like nuts. He just is one of those people. It's like very Irish style fighting. Like there is no defense. It's just hitting as many people and taking as many blows. It's like hit for hit.
Jeez.
But he was just, it was like a video game. It was like, or like a movie. He was just like knocking kids out. I think they might have been not like a big age difference, but I think they were like a little bit younger.
Yeah.
But they outnumbered us like 2-1. And that was just that was like an all-time brawl.
Which at a certain age, that's a big, like 14 to 16 is a big age difference.
It was probably like 15, 17, but yeah, it's equally
23 to 26, not that big of an age
Right.
difference, but like 15 to 17, that's an adult fighting a child basically.
We're at the age now where it dips in the favor, the younger.
It
Yeah,
does.
like
Oh,
29.
yes.
I'm like, oh shit,
They got the stamina, dude.
Oh, dude, like if I get shit from like a dude that's like 23, 24, I'm like, ugh, come on, man. My knees hurt when I walk up steps, dude.
No,
what are we
same.
doing?
I have like pain now.
It is wild how young kids, I've noticed it. Like I went out on St. Patty's Day after a show and I was like, dude, it's crazy how young 21, 22-year-olds look.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's crazy.
It's because they don't, obviously, I mean, this is a dumb point, but like they don't look young when you're that age. But it's like but like people that are 30 don't really look old. So it's weird that when you get to 30, the 21-year-olds look so young.
I don't think I look old right now.
No, you guys both look young.
But like, I think we all look young.
Yeah, we all look pretty young. I got a lot of gray hair though. You
I
got
got
some grays.
some.
too.
I
I got them
grays
in
on
my
the side.
beard.
Do
That's
you?
where I get the grays. Yeah,
Probably
right
the
in
worst
my
place
Not
to
beard.
get
bad. You have only a few though. You have the wing. You got the Polly Walnuts.
That's nice.
I got them on the side.
Yeah, those are nice though. That's what you want.
That's what I want. Oh God, that's
Paul,
like
he's an
having a
icon.
widow's peak. You know,
I'm like
look
all
like Count
gray.
Dracula,
I'm trying to be like Steve Martin.
all white. That
All
would be
white.
nice.
That'd be nice.
That's
yeah.
sick. The white's sick.
All white by like 34.
Dude, yeah, that's crazy
Yeah.
that he went white that quick.
I think he was at like 28. I think he was like 28.
There are pictures of him like in his prime when he was. I don't even know how old he was, but he's got a full head of gray hair. Like it's full gray when he's like selling out theaters.
Dude,
kinda cool.
one of my best friends is he's our age and he's completely gray, and it like happened like during the pandemic or so I thought. I'm on a Zoom
so
with
funny,
I'm on a
actually.
Zoom with him and I'm like holy shit. I was like, this COVID's been rough for you. He's like, you shitting me? I've been dyeing my hair since we were like 23.
Oh, really?
God,
That's
yeah,
hilarious. So he just stopped dyeing his hair, basically?
Yeah.
Nice.
Salt and pepper is a good look. Also, it
looks
adds
good.
texture to your hair. Your hair gets a little more texture.
Oh, Tommy
What do you
got a
mean?
lot of volume, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, like more hair.
Well, because like the grays are like they're thicker hair, so it adds like your hair gets more texture. So I have thin hair. I have a lot of hair, but it's thin. So like you add some grays in there, it really thickens it up.
That's good to know because I've been getting a little self-conscious because sometimes I'll look at these clips and I like duck my head and I'm like, I think that's a bald spot. I think I'm seeing bald spots on the clips.
Dude, I thought I had a bald spot when I was like 12. And like
yeah.
people would cut my hair and they're like, no, you're good. It's just like your cowlick.
I just
Yeah.
got a new camera and it's like a pretty solid camera. So I'm like editing clips and I'm like, I don't even know if I could put this out there. This isn't what I look like. This can't be it. Why is everybody's eyes in this high definition? You know,
Right.
like just seeing like, yeah, like I'm getting the deep fucking peak. That's something I never wanted because like you can't be fat and bald.
No.
You got to be Vin Diesel or Chris Farley. Full head of hair.
Pick
Yeah.
one.
You got to pick one, dude. Full head of hair or A 6-pack.
My old roommate, he would just be hungover all the time, and he would just be like, he's just every morning would text us like, I'm fat, gay, and bald. He's like not fat or bald, but he's like balding and getting chubbier, so it was cracking me up.
Is he gay?
No.
So he's
This
none
is
of those
just how he
three.
felt when he was hungover.
Are you a blackout drinker?
I used to be.
Really?
Now, never. I like never black out anymore.
What's the if you want to say
Actually,
it?
that's a lie. I was at a wedding in November. I blacked out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like blacking out now. Blackout now gives me a lot of anxiety.
I
'Cause I'm
agree.
Like, what happened?
Where did you wake up?
I didn't like. I just like stuff is hazy,
Okay.
but I didn't like fall asleep. I got taken home, like not taken home, but like people were going home and they like helped bring me back. I was in a hotel room with my friend. He fell asleep. Mike Bramante, other
Okay.
comedian. And then because he was asleep, I snuck back out. And then I knew, because I get really bad hangovers. So actually, it was the most responsible thing I ever did. Like, I snuck back out and I just hung out at the bar for like 2 or 3 hours with the people still out. And I just chugged water the whole night. And I wasn't hungover.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I got ahead of it.
That's really good. Dude, the hangovers now are so bad.
So bad. It's part of the reason I like kind of tapered off.
Yeah.
I quit drinking for 2 months because I went on a.
You had GERD.
No, it's not because of the GERD.
I thought it was because of the GERD.
Well, I did it because of the GERD most recently. I went on, dude. There were 3.
GERD is
rough.
Don't
dude.
sleep on GERD.
Do you got GERD?
I think I've had signs of GERD.
I feel like that's a very Jewish thing to get is GERD.
Oh yeah,
GERD, or what's the one you get on your toes? Gout.
The gout.
Gout.
My old roommate used to have gout. It would, because he's a little chubbier guy.
Yeah.
It would crack me up because I would just hear him like in the kitchen, like I would be like dying laughing. It sounds like, just judging from his reactions, it seems horrible.
It's hard. My grandpa had it. He cut the front out of his shoe, so he looked like an old like hillbilly.
Wait, why though?
Because he like didn't. It was just hurting to even put in his shoe.
His shit was probably all
So he
swollen
had
up.
it in his big toe. So he cut like the front big toe out of his shoe.
You know what causes it though?
Shrimp.
It's like seafood, steak, and alcohol.
Really?
It's like all the best things.
It's like
Yeah.
my diet.
I know.
That's all I eat.
You might get it.
Well, that's
You
what
gotta
I
be
Steak and
careful.
alcohol.
That's what I said.
gotta
I went to the ER for GERD, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it because I've been doing a bit about it. And
You
it feels
can't spell
weird.
GERD without ER. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow! Thanks for the tag.
They're like, Raymond, thanks for coming in, but it's just GERD. You can call your mom.
I thought I was having a fucking heart attack. Like,
Yeah, it's
it
scary.
hurt that bad. And like, he was like, "So you're gonna have to just go for a while, just no alcohol." I was like, "What?" He was like, "No, like fried foods, like takeaway." And I was like, "God damn it!" So I like went that. But the time I went,
It's like, what about White Claws and wings?
Yeah.
Does that qualify?
that was the first meal I had. When,
Yeah.
when, he,
I
when
remember.
he told me, he was like, "You could start weaning your triggers in," and I was like, "Okay, wean, get the fuck out of here."
Wait,
dude.
what do you mean in? That was like on the other side of it then?
Oh, so like I do a month and I have a follow up with a gastro doctor. So I went a full month, no booze, no fried food, no happiness, and
Sugar?
no,
Like candies and
no
stuff?
sugar.
No, yeah.
no, because that was another one. Like
Yeah.
because I was at the point where like I couldn't drink water without being in pain in my stomach.
Really?
It's fucking
Oh, yeah, I never
brutal.
had that. That sounds bad.
Yeah, like it like burned like going down. Like I didn't eat for a couple of days. Damn. And I fucking go see him and he's like, "All right, you can start weaning your triggers in." And I like went out and celebrated.
Yeah.
I met Colin for his like birthday lunch, and I'm like eating wings, drinking beers, so much.
Dude, I remember we went out right after he had this, deathly diagnosis. We went out for the
something to joke
the
about.
playoffs, dude. We went out for the playoffs, and I remember I was like, "Oh, dude, I can't wait to eat wings at this bar. It's gonna be great." Ray got like a salad. I
That's
was like,
humiliating.
I got
"Oh, this is tough."
avocado toast at a bar.
Dude,
Yeah.
trying to do like
I had
any
wings and fries, tots.
Now my thing is like I try to like buy the healthiest food, at least like what I can control, because I used to do the thing like, oh, for a month I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. But being at the bar with your boys eating wings and you get a set like or get something else, it is the most humiliating moment. So I'd rather just be healthy and then that one day in the week like really let myself go.
The toughest part for a big dude the toughest part about dieting for a big dude is the beginning. Is because
Right.
because everybody's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's like the waitress is like, okay, we got 9 ordered wings and a minestrone soup. Okay, good. All right, we'll be right back with that.
But the first time it was during the pandemic, I went 2 straight months no booze because we went to Mohegan Sun because Adam Gully was doing the contest out there, the comedy contest. So we all just went because we needed to get out of Queens. We needed a vacation. But 4 dudes shared a hotel room. So 2 dudes to a bed, which should not fucking happen in your 30s.
So it's you, Colin, Adam, who's the 4th?
No, it was me, Adam, Paul Daggs, and Corey Smith.
Oh, I don't know those 2, but you and Adam are pretty big to be sharing beds.
We didn't share a bed together.
Okay,
but,
good.
But I also had a knee issue. My knee was all swollen up, so I'm taking fucking Vicodin and shit.
Okay.
So I forgot that I took Vicodin in the morning on the Sunday that we're there, and me and Paul combined drink like 28 beers just during the 1 o'clock football games. And I'm fucking wrecked, and I just keep it going. I'm doing shots. I'm drinking wine the rest of the day. I'm gambling. So I end up like going back to the hotel room. I'm in bed. I must have like been like moaning in my sleep. I guess I was like putting my arm around Paul in the bed. I take a shit with the door open.
Nice.
I'm just a full blown mess to the point where like when I wake up, my eyes are still closed and I can hear all 3 of them just talking shit on me and what a mess I am and what's wrong with me. And I didn't know them that well at this time.
Yeah.
And I'm like embarrassed on the car ride, like not saying a word, like pretending like I'm sleeping the whole time because I didn't want to say anything. I realized that night I lost $1,000 playing blackjack.
Damn.
I had $1,060 in my account to start with, so like I lost everything but $60, and I'm just like laying in bed, just like I'm like I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I'm like broke. I'm fucking my knee's still fucked up. You know, I'm still having trouble walking, and 3 people. I got to deal with the anxiety of like what else did I fucking do?
You know what, though? Sometimes I have those nights in that car ride home. You're down on your luck. But there's something about that, like, thank God I'm hungover right now because I don't really care about that other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to fight this, so, like, the being destitute isn't bothering me as much as it would.
Well, you know what I did? I spent about $50 on food.
That's
I, like,
what I mean.
ordered food, and I was down to, like, literally $10 to my name because I was just like, well, what the fuck? What's this $60 going to do for me?
Might as well enjoy myself. That's so funny.
Oh, my God. Yeah, is that when that was a different night when you were gambling and you spent like $300 and then you went back to your hotel room and then the check from the comedy club cleared and you went back down and gambled it away? Is that the same night?
I wish I could say that was the same night, but it was not.
Same casino?
No, because the Mohegan Sun Casino, I actually, when I got all fucked up like that and lost $1,000, I walked back to the hotel. We stayed at a cheaper hotel that wasn't on the ground. So, like, I walked like a mile on this bad knee all fucked up. Probably why I was moaning in my sleep because I was in severe pain. But no, the other one is that was sober. I did that. That's just a gambling problem, not an alcohol problem.
Which casino was that one?
Rocky Gap Casino in Cumberland, Maryland. I used to I would like headline a show there every year. And I was like, you know, I got lost a little bit of money. I was like, thank God I only had $100 to lose. That's it. I go up in my room, and for some reason I was like, just check my bank account. Ooh, I had a direct deposit. And I was back down on the floor.
You seem like you're a casino guy.
Love it.
So here's a question. This is my theory. The smaller casinos, I think, you're guaranteed to lose.
Oh, maybe.
That's my hot take because I think they're not as regulated maybe, but I've always, every time I'm at a small casino, I take a bath, and then if I'm at like a bigger like chain, I'll like maybe win a couple $100 here and there.
You know what? I kind of, I don't know if that's real or not, but same thing with me.
Yeah.
I always lose at small casinos, and I do kind of well at a bigger casino.
I think I'm out on small casinos now.
I lose at all of them.
Mohegan Sun is great, though. That's a big one, then you lost there. But I love that casino. That's one of
Foxwoods, I like a lot.
Foxwoods is great, too.
Great.
Right next to each other. You can do a bang-bang.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like have this blurry memory from that night at Mohegan Sun because it was during the pandemic, so they had all the fucking dividers while you're at the blackjack table, and he took my money when I actually won. Like he took like $20 off me when I actually won the bet. And then I remember being like, yo, I won that. And then like I'm like banging on the fucking thing. I'm like, dude, I won. And then he's like, no, you didn't. And like I'm like got like everybody surrounding me. And he's like, no. He's like, you need to knock it off. He's like, you didn't win. I'm like, check the fucking tape. You know, because they tape it. And they did check it. I did actually win. And then I'm like, whew, I knew it. let's go. And then I just lost that money. And that was the last of it I had. It was like, that was like me fighting for my life.
I could see them pulling some sneaky stuff during the pandemic. I feel like everyone kind of used the pandemic as like a cover to do shit like that. Just like take money from the drunk guy.
Yeah, dude, what are we doing?
Yeah, we're rusty. We forgot how to count.
Did you, I mean, everybody used it as excuses to just like get out of shit.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, I'm so scared to go there. And I wasn't. I was like, I'm scared of being bored. I don't want to go there at all.
Dude. Oh, that's funny. Dude, we're already at an hour, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that flew by. That was great.
That was fun,
great. Do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap? Either of you?
No, I don't think. I think anything else would just make me seem like an even bigger scumbag than I
No way. So, dude, tell the people where they can find you. Anything you got to plug, and this will be out in like 3 weeks.
All right, nice. You could 3 weeks. Let's say. If you're in Houston, I'm doing a show in Houston at the Riot Houston on April 30th. So get tickets to that, and then
tickets.
And you can find me on social media at Jake V Comedy. I think on all mediums it's the same. And Do Less Podcast, and that's it. That's all I got.
Hell yes. All right. You could catch me at RayBKillin'em on all social media, and you can catch me here every Wednesday on the Troublemakers podcast with Dylan Krasinski. Dylan, where can they find you?
At Dylan Krasinski on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the jazz. And then at Troublemakers, we post clips every multiple times a week, 3, 4, 5 times a week on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Check those out. And then every weekend, Friday and Saturday, 8:30 and 10 o'clock, 7th Street Comedy, guys. Come out and see if you live in New York City. Live comedy every weekend.
Shit on my balls. I totally forgot. Thursday,
Give it to 'em.
2 Thursday nights at 7th Street Comedy. That's going to be April 13th and April 27th. It's Ray and Colin's big show. Me and Colin Chamberlain booking some hot comedy there as well. So you get a lot of chances to see some good shit at 7th Street Comedy Club.
Hell yeah.
7th Street Comedy.
Well, dude, Jake, thank you for being here. Go follow him. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week, baby. Good night.